We know that Cyclone Alfred is going to affect communities right up and down the coast of southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales. Two of those communities are the Sunshine Coast and, of course, Lismore. Steve Krieg, the Mayor of Lismore, joins us now, along with Rosanna Natoli, the Mayor of the Sunshine Coast. Thanks for joining us. First to you, Steve. Our hearts bleed for you, mate. We know the community there in Lismore has been through so much. How are people feeling?
Oh, it's hitting our community hard, Sherbo. There's no doubt about that. It's only 3 years ago that we went through our disaster of the flood, and people were just starting to get back on their feet. People have probably overcapitalised, to be honest with you, to rebuild their lives here. The main CBD block was starting to fill up again. We had about 80% of our shops and businesses return. And to get this evacuation order yesterday or last night, it just really brings home how soon after that 22 flood we are. And it's just really cruel to do this to Lismore again, that's for sure.
The Premier's there, Chris Minns is there. He spoke last night. He said, please, 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 if you can evacuate, get out of your homes now. Do you feel like the locals have heeded that warning?
100%. I took my family back to the home that we spent nearly a year in after the 22 floods. It was deja vu as I walked in that door. But I've come down because you wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to remember whether you locked the front door or not. Well, that was me. And so I'm down in the CBD now. Front door was locked, by the way. But everyone has done such a good job in preparing for this. For us, what makes us probably more nervous than a flood is the wind. And already we're seeing trees down and power lines down, and sitting in front of a parking sign which is blown over, and we're not even at the worst of it yet. So yeah, we're dreading what's to come over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Rosanna, where you are on the Sunshine Coast, you're concerned about a number of things, obviously the wind and the rain, but also that storm surge.
Yeah, of course, along the Sunshine Coast, we love our beaches. We have a lot of people who have built close to the beach. Our whole community is really feeling that impact at the moment. And we have low-lying areas. We've had a lot of sandbagging. So, just even at one site, 160 tonnes of sand shoveled. That's one site on one day. So we've got about 100,000 sandbags across the region as people prepare. People have been stocking up, of course, on food and medications and water just in case, because again, we don't know whether we'll lose power, water, telecommunications. We are to the north of the current path, and we know the impacts are worse to the south. But, we are just absolutely hanging on and hanging in there and totally just waiting now, because we know as well Tropical Cyclone Alfred is just making us wait so incredibly slow.
Yep.
And that's made it difficult for everybody.
Yep, and that only intensifies that anxiety. Steve, Rosanna, all the best to your communities. We'll catch up with you very soon, but stay safe. Nat and Dave, what can you say? I mean, for Lismore residents, you can only imagine the trauma that they felt 3 years ago, and understanding what it means to be under floodwaters, what it means to rebuild businesses, to rebuild homes and lives, and that's what they're staring down the barrel of again.
Yeah, and you could hear it in the Mayor Steve Krieg's voice. Yep. The cost of that rebuild in that Northern Rivers region, $2 billion.
Yeah, he put it very succinctly. It's really cruel, and I suppose that's the point.